Quick question. Which of these cylinders in this revolver looks better to you? Let me know in the comments. Here's a full 360 preview of the Stylized Revolver. This is the final look we're aiming for, a clean and exaggerated design with simplified shapes and bold forms. In a moment, we'll take this apart visually and rebuild it piece by piece inside Blender, starting from the basic blockout all the way to the refined details. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go into our 3D viewport by clicking anywhere outside this splash screen. Press A to select everything, X, and then delete. Press 3 to go to the side view and drag in your reference image. This is our reference. With the reference selected, press Alt-G to snap the reference to the center of the scene. Make sure you're on the right side of your workspace. With the reference selected, go to the data properties and under opacity, check this and turn the opacity down to 0.5. Now go to the filters, enable selectability, and then turn it off here. This prevents accidentally selecting the image while working. Next, Shift A to add a cylinder. We want to create the barrel now. With the cylinder selected, change the vertices to 18, then enter. Press R, then 90 to rotate. Scale and align with the reference using S to scale and moving the mouse. Press Tab to go to edit mode, Shift Z to switch to wireframe. Then box select and press G, Y to move this back so it goes through the frame. Shift back to solid view, Shift Z. With the front face selected and nothing else selected, press X and delete face so the back face is removed. Press 3 to return to the right side view. We can add the front side now while still in edit mode. Shift A to add a cube, S to scale, then G to grab and position it here. Use box select, then G and Y to adjust. We will bevel these corners later, so leave them for now. Go to front view, switch to face select mode, and select this face. I to inset. Give this more thickness than realistic, since this is a stylized weapon. Inset deeply so you won't see it from the front. Return to side view and use G, Y to move it back further. With this face selected, press X and delete face, because we don't need to see that face. Press 3 for side view, Shift Z for wireframe. We can also use a cube for this side. Press A to deselect, add a cube, R then S to scale, then G to position. Make sure the cube is large enough to pierce the cylinder. Shift Z to return to wireframe, switch to vertex select, select all, and G, Y to move forward. Box select and G, Y to move it into the frame. Press Tab to return to object mode, Shift Z to go to solid view. Now you can see what we have. Delete this face with X, then delete faces. Make the cylinder a separate object. Select any face from the cylinder. Press L to select linked geometry. Then P and choose separate by selection. Now the side pieces and the front side are one object, and the cylinder is separate. Enter Edit Mode tab, switch to Edge Select. I want to bevel the ends. Hold Alt and click any edge to select the entire loop, then Shift Alt to select additional loops. Press Ctrl B to bevel and move the mouse until you get the desired bevel. Now return to Object Mode, right-click and choose Shade Smooth. Apply rotation and scale. Open the Modifiers panel, add bevel, set segments to 4, and adjust the amount to about 0.02. Enable Shade Auto Smooth. Add a normal edit in the shading view, and turn on Cavity for a stronger stylized look. Press Shift A to add another cube in object mode, scale and position it for the frame, then enter Edit Mode and switch to Vertex Select. Begin shaping the frame by selecting the top vertices and extruding with E, then move and align them to the reference. Add edge loops with Ctrl R and straighten them using SY0. Fill faces with F where necessary. Switch to side view. Select the two faces for the cylinder opening and right-click Bridge to create the hole. Select this face. Make a duplicate by pressing Shift+D. Right-click to leave the duplicated mesh in the same position. Press P to separate and choose Selection to separate by selection. Back to Object Mode. Select the new mesh, then go to Edit Mode, Extrude, Rotate, and move the vertices following the reference image. Now select the whole mesh in Edit Mode and scale on the X-axis. Extrude the top faces of the trigger ring so that they are hidden inside the frame of the gun. Apply rotation and scale, Ctrl-A. Add bevel modifier with segment equals 4 and amount was 0.02. Then add subdivision surface and shade smooth. Now work on the trigger. Shift-A to add a cube, scale and position it. Then tab to Edit Mode. Add 2 edge loops and push them slightly to refine shape. Copy modifiers from another mesh. Select source, Ctrl-A to apply, Shift-select target, Ctrl-L, and choose Copy modifiers. Shade smooth. Proceed to finish the backside. Select groups of vertices and stretch, rotate and position them to match the reference, but avoid excessive stretching by adding edge loops for control. Use Ctrl-Alt-R, edge loop where needed, and fine-tune with GZ. Add loops to maintain shape with subdivision surface. Add loops around the frame to hold shape. These loops prevent the subsurface from collapsing important features. After adding loops, enable Subdivision Surface and Shade Smooth to preview the result. For symmetric work, delete half of the frame. Go to Top View, Shift-Z for wireframe, box select, and delete vertices, leaving half. Add mirror modifier with clipping and place mirror above subdivision surface in the modifier stack. Then continue customizing. Select faces, extrude E, scale on Z as needed for design details. Toggle subdivision preview when making adjustments so you can select correctly. Now let's create the wooden grip. Shift plus A to add a plane. Go to Edit Mode, delete one vert, and line up the rest of the verts the way I did. Now select and extrude this vert along the outline of the wooden grip reference. Basically, you're just pressing E to extrude, grabbing and moving into position. Select the last two verts and press F to close the outline. Now select the entire vert in object mode. Go to the modifier, add a subdivision surface modifier. This will smoothing the outline we just made. Apply the modifier. Go to Edit Mode. Make sure all of the vertices are selected, press M to merge, and then choose By Distance. Play with the values in the bottom panel to reduce the number of verts until you get something you are happy with. Select the entire vertices and press F to fill it up with a face. With the face selected, press I to insect and move your mouse until you have something close to this. Scale the selected face a little on the Y and Z axis if necessary. Select the entire mesh in Edit Mode and move it out onto the side of the grip. Doing this in Edit Mode ensures the origin stays in the center so that when I apply Mirror Modifier, it works correctly. If you wish to add the mirror modifier to your quick favorite, go to the Modifiers tab, locate the mirror modifier, right-click, and select Add to Quick Favorites. Now when you press Q in your 3D workspace, you should see your modifier in your quick favorite list. I highly recommend you do this. Now let's create a hole in the grip. Add a cylinder, scale, and rotate it to fit the size of the hole in the grip. Ensure it is piercing the grip. Now select the grip, add Boolean modifier. Use the eyedropper tool to pick the cylinder. It appears to not be working. My guess is the orientation of the object is turned the wrong way. I forgot to show you how to find face orientation. I already have it in my quick favorites, but if you have problem with orientation, your object should turn red and your Boolean operation will fail. What you need to do to fix that, press A to select the entire mesh in edit mode. Press Shift+N to flip the normals. Now your mesh should turn blue if you're using the old version of Blender. Since I am on 5.0, it just turns gray. Now put your cursor on top of the Boolean modifier. Press Ctrl+A to apply. Turn off the cylinder in the outliner. Now let's fix the cylinder of the revolver I have been unhappy with. Turn off the old cylinder in the outliner. Add a new cylinder on the bottom left panel. Change the number of vertices to 18. Rotate, scale, and position the cylinder in the correct position. Add this edge loop. Switch to face select mode and select this group of faces. Now go to Select, Checker Deselect. Here is what I didn't do right the first time. Go to the bottom panel, change the selected value to 2. Add these group of faces to the selection. Press Alt+E, extrude along normals. Try not to overdo it. This looks fine for me. Now, add some edge loops in all 6 of these faces with depth by pressing Ctrl+R. Switch to Edge Select mode and select all of these 6 edges at the corners. Go to the side view. Move the selected edges backward like this. Let's pull these backward. Make an extrusion and scale it. You can already see it looking so much better and more like the reference. Select this edge and bevel it. Add an edge loop. Scale on the y-axis by pressing S, Y0. I will add some more edge loop to hold the shape together so that when I add subdivision surface modifier, it won't smooth out the form completely. Now make some insets and add loops exactly how I'm going to have them to create room for the holes. Select these group of faces. Right-click, Loop Tools, Circle. Press I just to inset the face a little. Extrude a couple of times. Ensure to leave the little lip to hold the shape in place. You could make some extrusion at the center here as well if you want to, but I don't need that since nobody's going to see it anyway. Let's add some more edge loops to hold the edges in place, just before I add the subdivision surface modifier. Look at that beauty. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. I forgot the little holes. Let's do that real quick. Now we can compare them better. Which of these cylinders do you like better? Let me know in the comments. I will go ahead and customize them a little bit more. I will make another part showing you how I added the materials. I wish I could squeeze it into this video, but it's a really long process trying to achieve this metallic effect with scratches in Blender. If you know how to use Substance Painter, you are better off doing it there. I will make a video regardless. Thanks for watching. See you next time.